Good morning again, you guys. So, yesterday we did a live out here while we were working, and somebody asked a question. What do you say to yourself when you want to drink? So, that's what I want to talk about with you guys today. What do you do when you feel like drinking? Now, I'm not the expert here, just the guy who happens to have the channel, okay? So I'm just going to be hosting it, but I want to hear your guys' perspectives, especially from you guys who have quit drinking, okay? For me, when I quit drinking, the last time I remember ever having an urge to drink was a long time ago. And back in those days, I used to get out in front of my cravings. I noticed that every day around 4:30, I would have this uneasy feeling. And that was my cravings starting up. And I noticed that that was even happening even after I quit drinking. And I was wondering to myself, why do I still feel this uneasy feeling even though I haven't been drinking? And I realized that was my body was just so used to drinking around that time that even though I quit, I was still having cravings around that time. And I remember thinking that was a pretty cool thing to learn about myself. Because I remember hearing something from Tony Robbins where he says if you want to make a change in your life, you have to make drastic changes. And one of the first things that you do is you get up and change your physiology. And so I got a chance to try that out. And so every day about 4:20, knowing that I would have those urges around 4:30, I'd be out on my back porch doing push-ups. And I don't know for a fact that that helped, but I told my mind that it helped. I believed that it worked. And in that moment, that's all that I must have needed, because here I am 8 months later, and I'm still sober from alcohol. And so that's one of the things that worked for me. And so what I want to know from you guys is, what do you do when the urge to drink hits you and you don't want to drink no more? What do you do? I would love to hear your guys' perspectives. For people who have actually gotten some success in this area. That's the whole point of this channel, is so that we can share our ideas, because everyone's different, And when it comes to the mind and alcoholism and addiction and, recovery and all that kind of stuff, one thing isn't going to work for the other person necessarily. I know that I come across sometimes as if this is so easy. All you got to do is this. And I apologize if I ever strike you guys that way, because it's not easy to recover from something. What it is that the ways to do it are simple. That's all. It's not as complicated as we make it. When somebody asked me that question yesterday, what do you say to yourself when you want to drink? I don't say anything to myself these days. I've had so much time under my belt, and I have such a system that I'm just so used to living that those urges don't necessarily enter my mind so much anymore, But I thought about it after that live yesterday. I was thinking, what would I do if that urge was to hit me? And truth be told, if I was to really have that urge, I really want to drink today, right? I would call someone. That's where I am now. Maybe at the beginning I might not have because I was so self-conscious about how I would look, coming across weak or whatever. My ego, the story that I've always told myself is that I'm the guy who people come to when they need help. And so for the longest time, I wouldn't talk to anybody. But these days, I would absolutely call someone up and say, I am trying to stay away from alcohol. And I am really feeling like drinking right now, and I don't want to. And then I would have to be open to that person's suggestions. They might say, hey, let me come pick you up right now. Let's go for a ride. Let's go get some ice cream. Some shit like that, right? Hi, Christine. Good to see you here today. Today I'm talking about what people do when they want to drink, how they don't drink when they want to. Yesterday somebody asked me a question, what it is that I do when I want to drink, and I haven't drank for so long that I don't actually have those feelings anymore, those thoughts really. And so if you have any perspective, that'd be cool. I'm just trying to get perspective from other people who may have some experience in this area, or maybe know someone that has some experience in this area so that we can kind of share ideas. I'm no expert and I'm no guru. I'm not the guy here giving the answers, just the guy here kind of hosting the conversation. And that's how I want to make sure that I present myself is I'm not the expert here in any of this stuff. I'm just the guy that wants to have the conversation because I really think it's important that we share ideas, we share wins. We're not constantly isolating ourselves and being in our own minds and getting our own answers and beating our own selves up, right? Hey, the Triple G. Greetings from Glasgow, Mr. West. And muchos gracias for all the likes and loves, big chap. Tell your old pops he's cool as feck. I will certainly do that, my friend, and it's good to see you here this morning. How are you? The conversation this morning, just so you know, is I got a question yesterday about what it is that I do when the urge to drink hits me, but I don't necessarily have that urge or thought so much anymore. So I'm looking for input from everybody else so that we can just share ideas. Like I said, I'm not the expert here, just the guy hosting the conversation. And you're someone who has a lot of answers and a lot of experience in this, Joe. So I think that if you can take the time to let people know, what is it that you would do if that thought was to come into your mind? Because that's what I was discussing a moment ago. I'm at a place now where I would actually open up to someone. I would call them. I would tell them, hey, look, I'm trying to stay away from alcohol. I'm having a really hard time right now. And, that I'd have to be open to that person's suggestions, maybe. Like I was saying a moment ago, that person might say, hey, let me come pick you up. Let's go get it. Let's go eat a gallon of fucking ice cream right now, right? I'm the type of person, if I load up on a whole bunch of sugar, like if I eat a fucking, I don't know, a whole pie if I have to, I don't care. If I eat so much sugar, I won't want to drink alcohol. I'm hypoglycemic. I get low blood sugar. So that's one thing I learned about myself that I didn't know, is that my craving that I thought was just for alcohol was mainly a craving for sugar. So for me, if I maintain my sugar, if I have myself some, decent amount of fruit in the morning, have myself some, bacon or some, meat and fruit or something like that, I stay pretty sustained and my cravings really stay down. Triple G says, okie dokie. The usual advice is play the tape forward. And good old think, yeah,